Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the SPR, the new sniper rifle to the Warzone, as it is finally nerfed. So it's to a normal state, no more hit scan on the special ammunition, and we will have an absolute surprise to you when it comes down to Norma and Lapua ammunition. First, let's go down on the nerf. So, increase to flinch. When you get shot, you flinch a little bit more. Minor reduction to ADS speed, so it's not like this absolute crazy ADS monster as the Kar 98 is. The variable zoom scope moved closer to the player while ADSing, and small reduction to ADS speed. All in all, the scope is bigger now than it used to be before. The scope before used to be like really tiny small, and now we get like this bigger frame, and that looks pretty good. Then we have the Norma and the Lapua mag, reduction to bullet velocity, so it's not hit scan anymore, it's not 4,000 meters per second, and reduction to ADS speed. It was actually making you aim in faster, now it's making you aim in slower. Okay, let's first look at the popular sniper rifles HER, X50, Kar 98 versus the Lapua and versus the Norma ammo. Left we have the Lapua, right we have the Norma ammo. When we're looking at the ADS times now, you have the HDR being the slowest, the Kar 98 being the absolute fastest sniper rifle, then the X50 being kind of in the middle when it comes down to aiming downside. The Lapua is faster than the HDR X50 but slower than the Kar 98 as it's supposed to be. And also the Norma is the same speed. This is just variable zoom scope versus normal sniper scope. So what you have with the Lapua is now a faster gun than the existing sniper rifles, but still slower than the Kar 98. But if we now look actually at the bullet velocity, then the Lapua ammo and the Norma ammo both have 1,055 meters per second, which is faster than the HDR. So you have a faster aiming downside speed, and also faster bullet velocity, also than the X50, and more than 100 meters per second than the Kar 98. So you zoom in way slower than the Kar 98, but you have a way higher bullet velocity, which is in total absolutely crazy still, plus a good reload time. Very important not to forget. With these statistics now in mind, why would you even remotely ever consider still using another sniper rifle? And the answer is very simple. Despite having the good bullet velocity, the optics are still special. The variable zoom scope is only 3.5 to 8 on the SPR. And if we're talking about the HDR, for example, has a 5.5 to 12.6 variable zoom. And that is a huge difference. Look at the big difference. The HDR has the gigantic frame. The SPR has like a bit smaller. You can see still on the left and the right. And the zoom factor of the HDR is just way better if you really want to focus on that one target and get that one target down. It obviously comes down to personal preference. What you prefer now, the SPR or the HDR zoom kind. Some intensive testing on my side and on my boy from TrueGameData.com, link in the description below, has shown that bullet velocity, because the bullet velocity of the Norma and the Lapua ammo is absolutely insane, is not tied to bullet drop. So that's kind of weird because you would obviously assume that a super high bullet velocity is also going to mean that you have the lowest bullet drop. But as it shows, the HDR has over 500 meter range, a 0.8 meter bullet drop, whereas the AX50 is by 1.4, and the Norma ammunition has actually less bullet drop than the Lapua, and the Lapua has even more bullet drop than the Kar 98 on 500 meters. That's quite crazy if you think about the high bullet velocity of 1,055. So right now I'd say try using the Norma ammo. I've already been doing this over the Lapua, and I gotta say from a personal preference, if you haven't noticed it yet, or if you have been stuck with the Lapua, the Norma ammo is a way harder cracking ammo when it comes down to hitting your shots, but the damage to the body is lower. Ladies and gentlemen, after we gathered all this information on bullet drop, zoomability, scopes, everything, ADS speed, how are we going to build the SPR now? Very simple. We're going to start with a monolithic suppressor for the range and the velocity. Then the SPR 26 barrel for the maximum range recoil bullet velocity 2. Because don't forget the SPR has a super kick that the other sniper rifles don't have in extreme like this, you're going to play the normal ammo. As we've shown you, it's 1.4 meters on 500 meters instead of 2.1 meters on 500 meters. Doesn't sound like much of a difference, but as a sniper, you'll know if the HDR says 0.8, this is like on AX50 levels now, and you will have some bullet drop definitely going on. It's not hit scan anymore. The normal mag is the way to go. Then you're going to snipe on the tag laser for the bonus ADS speed to be faster than all the sniper rifles, and only slower than the Kar 98. And here it comes down to personal preference if you want to have 7 times zoom, or if you want to be also able to go down to the 3.5 times zoom with the 8 times. That would be your SPR for maximum mobility going around on the Warzone, sniping people in the faces left and right. Why would you choose this over the HDR, or why would you still play the HDR? Simple, because the HDR has the lowest bullet drop. We talked about it. But at the same time, the HDR also has a 12.3 times magnification on the variable zoom scope, like the AX50 too. This is technically the AX50 and faster, ADS speed, movement, everything. But the AX50 has a 12 times magnification on the zoom scope too. So if you then like the AX50 because of the bonus magnification, because it gives you more security in hitting your targets, that's exactly where you play the AX50. But if you want the super mobility with the SPR, which is now not exactly like the Kar 98 mobility, because let's be fair, the Kar 98 mobility and zoom in ADS time is unmatched with 370 milliseconds, where this is 544, still faster than the HDR and the AX50, but not broken anymore. I hope you liked this video, guys. I hope we could get you the latest, newest, hottest sniper rifle for the Warzone right now. The SPR is finally balanced. The SPR is good. Don't forget to try out the normal ammo over the Lapua and tell me your experience in the comments if you felt exactly the same. Thanks also to TrueGameData.com for compiling all this data again and also helping me to figure out the whole stuff with the bullet drop. That is fantastic and helps a lot to kind of figure out what you're going to play. Thanks for watching here. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to join the live stream from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Twitch TV Ponyhoff. And see you soon in the Warzone.